Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into a story that is equal parts heartwarming and inspiring. A story about girl power, entrepreneurship, and the power of uplifting storytelling. If you are a fan of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, or if you simply love a feel-good success story, you are in the absolute right place. So grab a cup of tea, maybe even a box of your favorite Girl Scout cookies, and settle in, because we are talking about cookie queens. In a media landscape often dominated by cynicism and controversy, it takes a special kind of project to remind us of the power of simple, heartfelt storytelling. That project has arrived in the form of Cookie Queens, a documentary that is as charming as its name suggests. Executive produced by Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, this film has taken the festival circuit by storm, and its journey is a testament to the couple's evolving vision for their post-royal careers. After a stunning debut at the Sundance Film Festival, where it received a rapturous standing ovation, Cookie Queens is about to find a new audience at one of the most innovative festivals in the world, the South by Southwest Film and TV Festival in Austin, Texas. Running from March 12th to 18th, 2026, the SXSW selection is more than just another screening. It is the perfect match of subject and venue. SXWS is the premier destination where technology, culture, and entrepreneurship collide, the very elements baked into the DNA of Cookie Queens. This is a story about four young girls learning the ropes of business, ambition, and resilience. And there is no better place to spotlight the next generation of female founders than at a festival that champions innovation and creativity. But to truly understand why this SXWS moment is so significant, we need to look back at the film's emotional launch, the critical acclaim it has garnered, and the deeply personal connection that drew Meghan and Harry to this project in the first place. The first time the world got a real taste of Cookie Queens was in the rarefied air of Park City, Utah, at the 2026 Sundance Film Festival. For the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, it marked a significant milestone. Not only was it their first ever appearance at the legendary festival founded by Robert Redford, but it was also their first major public outing of the year, coming just days after Prince Harry delivered emotional testimony in his ongoing legal battles against British tabloids in London. The contrast was stark and deliberate. One moment, Harry was in a London courtroom, his voice cracking as he spoke about the media's toll on his family, stating, "They have made my wife's life an absolute misery." The next, he was standing shoulder to shoulder with Meghan in Utah, smiling alongside filmmaker Amy Redford and the cast of young scouts, celebrating the premiere of a film about joy, childhood, and community. It was a powerful visual representation of their mission to move from fighting against the destructive forces of the past to building and championing the hopeful narratives of the future. And the reception? It was nothing short of phenomenal. As Meghan and Harry stepped into the Eccles Theater, they weren't just attendees, they were beaming producers, proud to share a labor of love. According to Deadline, when the film concluded, the audience erupted. The standing ovation stretched on for over 2 minutes. A duration, as Deadline noted, is a massive deal at Sundance. In Park City, crowds are usually up and down in seconds, unlike the marathon ovations at European festivals like Cannes or Venice. To hold a Sundance crowd for that long means the film genuinely moved them. Meghan, ever the connector, addressed the audience with a speech that perfectly encapsulated the film's mission. She acknowledged the obvious charm of the film, calling it probably the cutest at the festival, but quickly pivoted to its deeper significance. She described it as one of the most powerful and meaningful depictions of something that is an American tradition and rooted in nostalgia, to show something modernized about the girlhood experience and all the layers of complexity that come with that. So, what is Cookie Queens about? On its surface, it is a documentary following four young Girl Scouts, Olive, 12, Nikki, 9, Shannon Elizabeth, 8, and Ara, 5, through the high-stakes 6-week whirlwind of the annual Girl Scout cookie season. We see them strategizing, setting ambitious sales goals, and setting up shop outside stores, their small frames dwarfed by tables stacked high with boxes of Thin Mints, Samoas, and Tagalongs. However, as the Sundance reviews poured in, it became clear that director Elisa Nachmias had crafted something far more nuanced. The Hollywood Reporter called it irresistible, noting that if the film itself were a cookie, one bite could cause hyperglycemia. It's just that sweet. But even in its sweetness, the publication acknowledged it had depth. The UPI review provides a more detailed look at the film's emotional core. It highlights the genuine pressure these young entrepreneurs face. We see 12-year-old Olive, a sales veteran who has already begun to analyze the economics of her labor, noting that the girls only get to keep $1 of every $6 box sold, a margin she shrewdly questions. Then there's 5-year-old Ara, a diabetic brownie who can only eat small portions of the cookies she so enthusiastically sells. Her journey is one of pure, unfiltered sincerity. She is too young to understand that maybe later means no, and her determination to wait for customers to return is described as the purest act of generosity. The film doesn't shy away from the pressures that trickle down to these young girls. It showcases the financial risk for families like Shannon Elizabeth's, who can't afford to be stuck with a $2,700 inventory of cookies if their daughter doesn't sell them. It's a microcosm of the American dream, the hustle, the risk, the reward, and the resilience required to succeed. This is precisely why Harry and Meghan were drawn to it. In a statement released upon the film's announcement, Meghan spoke about how the film's creative point of view, the edgy yet humanizing tone, made it absolutely irresistible. For Meghan, this project is not just a professional endeavor, it is profoundly personal. The Duchess has been open about her childhood in Los Angeles, and a key part of that history is her time as a Girl Scout. Her mother, Doria Raglan, was her troop leader. This connection infuses her role as executive producer with genuine passion. When Meghan speaks about the film, she isn't just talking about a production slate, she's talking about her own formative years. As a former Girl Scout myself, with my mom as my troop leader, I have a personal affinity for this film, she shared in a press release. This background gives her a unique insight into the world depicted on screen. She knows the feeling of the uniform, the thrill of the sale, and the bond of sisterhood fostered by the organization. Director Elisa Nachmias confirmed this connection in a red carpet interview, revealing that when Archewell Productions was shown the early footage, Meghan really fell in love with the film. She felt like, as a Girl Scout herself, her mom was her troop leader, that this spoke to her. This personal stake is part of a larger pattern for the Duchess. Her entire post-royal brand, from her lifestyle series With Love, Meghan, to her business venture As Ever, is rooted in celebrating the domestic arts, community, and female entrepreneurship. Cookie Queens fits into this mosaic. It celebrates the female founder spirit in its rawest, most unadulterated form. Little girls learning to set goals, pitch a product, and manage customer relationships. It is impossible to discuss the success of Cookie Queens without acknowledging the backdrop against which it was achieved. Prince Harry's presence at the Sundance premiere, just days after his grueling testimony in London, was a profound display of resilience and dedication to their shared mission. His legal battles against the tabloid press are well documented. He has been fighting for years against what he sees as the invasion of privacy and unlawful information gathering that has plagued his family. Stepping onto a red carpet, smiling for photos, and celebrating the work of young filmmakers requires an immense amount of emotional fortitude. It demonstrates a conscious choice to focus on creation rather than destruction, on uplifting others rather than being dragged down by litigation. By standing beside Meghan at Sundance, he was signaling that their work at Archewell is their priority. The documentary's themes of family, protection, and giving children a safe space to grow and thrive resonate deeply with Harry's own life experiences. Supporting a film that showcases the joys, pressures, and pain points of childhood is a powerful counter-narrative to the often painful childhood he experienced in the media spotlight. Of course, any major success for the Sussexes is inevitably met with a mix of adulation and skepticism. The Sundance premiere was no different. As the couple basked in the glow of a 2-minute standing ovation, headlines from certain corners of the media attempted to cast a shadow. The New York Post ran a piece with the headline, "Prince Harry and Meghan Markle don't sell out their Sundance Film Festival 2026 screening," pointing to roughly 60 empty seats in the massive Eccles Theater balcony. But, as is so often the case, the narrative of failure was quickly and thoroughly dismantled by facts. Prominent entertainment journalist Matthew Belloni took to X, formerly Twitter, to call the reporting silly, noting that it was a packed house at 9 a.m. for a documentary in the festival's biggest theater. Furthermore, the official Sundance ticketing website had indicated that the screening was sold out. The empty seats were likely a result of no-shows, a common occurrence at festivals where pass holders juggle multiple screenings, not a reflection of a lack of interest in the Sussexes or the film. What got lost in this minor controversy was the overwhelming truth. Cookie Queens was a critical darling. Deadline described the audience reaction as one of the longest standing ovations of the festival. The content of the film itself was praised. The critics focused on the girls, their stories, and the deft hand of director Elisa Nemias. The Sussexes, as executive producers, succeeded in the most important job of a producer. They found a gem of a story, provided the resources and platform to tell it, and got out of the way to let the magic happen. Now, Cookie Queens is heading to Austin, Texas for the SXSW Film and TV Festival from March 12th to 18th. This is not just another stop on the festival circuit, it is a strategic and thematic masterstroke. SXWS is unique. It's where the tech world meets the film world, and where entrepreneurs rub shoulders with artists. It is a hub for innovation, startup culture, and bold new ideas. The festival's programming is built around the convergence of these worlds, and Cookie Queens sits squarely at that intersection. The film follows 4 girls engaged in the most iconic American entrepreneurial ritual for children, the cookie stand. At its core, it's a story about small business, goal setting, marketing, and financial literacy. The Girl Scouts of the USA have long positioned the Cookie program as the largest girl-led entrepreneurial program in the world. By bringing this story to SXWS, the filmmakers are placing these young girls in the context they deserve, not just as cute kids, but as nascent CEOs. Imagine the conversations the film will spark in Austin. Attendees will watch 5-year-old Ara learning to handle rejection, and will see 12-year-old Olive questioning profit margins and labor compensation. These are the very topics discussed in panel sessions throughout the festival. Cookie Queens provides a real-world, deeply human case study for the principles of grit and innovation that SXWS champions. As we look toward this next milestone, it is worth taking a moment to appreciate what the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are building with Archwell Productions. When they stepped back as senior working royals, they outlined a vision for a life of public service that would be impactful. Critics scoffed, predicting a descent into mere celebrity vanity projects. But with Cookie Queens, they have delivered on their promise in a way that is both subtle and profound. They are using their immense platform to shine a light on others. At Sundance, they could have chosen to walk the red carpet and disappear. Instead, Meghan used her voice to champion director Elisa Nemias' vision. They posed for photos with the young cast, giving those girls a moment in the global spotlight they will never forget. They understood that their presence could amplify a small, beautiful story about American girlhood and turn it into a global conversation. They are championing stories with substance. This is not a documentary about royalty, fame, or the pitfalls of celebrity. It is about ordinary families, the pressures of modern parenting, and the surprising wisdom of children. It is a reflection of Meghan's own stated interests: community, entrepreneurship, and the bonds between mothers and daughters. They are showing resilience, despite the legal battles, despite the constant media scrutiny, and despite the attempts to spin any event into a negative headline. They remain focused. They showed up in Utah, they showed up for the filmmakers, and they will continue to show up for projects they believe in. Their ability to compartmentalize the noise and focus on the work is a testament to their professionalism and their commitment to each other and their team.
The selection of cookie queens for SXWS 26 sends a clear message to the entertainment industry. Archwell Productions is a player, and it's a player with a distinct point of view. They're interested in edgy yet humanizing content that explores the human condition with warmth and intelligence. For the Girl Scouts featured in the film, this is a life-changing experience. Ara, Nikki, Shannon Elizabeth, and Olive are not just stars of a documentary, they are ambassadors for a generation of young girls. They will attend SXWS, walk red carpets, and see their stories celebrated by adults who are genuinely moved by their tenacity. They will witness firsthand that their crash course in entrepreneurship is worthy of attention and praise. Who knows? Perhaps one of them will look back on this experience decades from now as the moment they knew they could be a founder, a leader, or even a filmmaker themselves. As the film prepares for its spotlight in Austin, we raise a glass to the Cookie Queens and to the couple who brought their story to the world. Prince Harry and Meghan have proven that they are more than just talking heads. They are curators of culture. They have an eye for stories that matter, and they have the production power to bring them to life. The journey of Cookie Queens, from a concept in director Elisa Namias's mind, to a passion project for Meghan, to a standing ovation hit at Sundance, and now to a featured selection at SXWS, is a beautiful thing to watch. It is a reminder that in a world full of noise, sometimes the sweetest stories are the most powerful. So, when you think of Harry and Meghan this March, don't think of the tabloid headlines or the palace dramas. Think of 5-year-old Ara standing hopefully with a box of cookies. Think of the audience in Utah clapping and cheering for 2 solid minutes. Think of the young girls in Texas who will watch this film and feel inspired to start their own business, whatever that may be. That is the legacy of Cookie Queens. It is a legacy of sweetness, strength, and the boundless potential of girls everywhere. And for that, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex deserve our heartfelt praise. We can't wait to see what the audiences in Austin think. See you in the movies.